AITA for taking over a family therapy session with my rant. After my mom passed away, my dad remarried his recent wife. My step-siblings have food allergies, which changed a lot of things in our home, including what we eat and how we celebrate special occasions. I've been holding in my frustration until a recent session where I told them I hate these changes. Now my dad is angry, and my stepmom is upset because her kids heard what I said. I'm M16, currently in family therapy with my dad, his wife, my sister, 14, and step-siblings, 10, 9, and 7. This blended family thing is pretty new still, with my dad being remarried for 2 years. My mom died, so I only have one home, and I'll be honest, I was never excited or really into the whole blended family thing, but I know that's not my decision. All 3 of my step-siblings have food allergies, 2 have bad ones, so the way we eat changed a lot. This included places we eat at that were a part of traditions. For most of my life, we'd eat at this local noodle bar in town for the end of the school year, and whenever we had a school thing, play, graduation, report card, etc. And we're not allowed to go there anymore because of the allergies. Even just with dad, it's a no-go. We can't bring ice cream into the house anymore because my step-siblings can't eat it. Only my dad and his wife can prepare food, so no more making a sandwich for myself either. Birthdays have changed. My sister and I can no longer eat at our preferred restaurant of choice because of my step-siblings, and we can't bring my favorite dish into the house either. So now it's a place that my step-siblings love and is acceptable for their allergies. For 2 years, Dad has talked about how glad we are to make all these changes and how family is worth it. About 4 months ago, his wife noticed my sister and I weren't engaged with the family in the way she thought we'd be. We didn't want to talk to her. She also noticed my sister had cut me and her out of some photos of all of us and used just me and her for her room's art wall. So she and Dad decided we needed some family therapy. Since we started about 2 months ago officially, there has been a lot of what's the problem? Why are we there? Explain the problem. And my dad has also talked about all the good from a blended family, and changes were mentioned, and he talks about how happy we all are to make them. Well, last week I got so sick of it, and the therapist asked me if I was truly okay with them, and I went off. I said no, I'm not, that I hate the changes, that it's unfair, that I never said I wanted my step-siblings to celebrate my birthday more than I wanted my favorite foods, that these things were decided for me. I said I never would have made that decision because celebrating with them isn't important to me. I'd rather have a good time with the people I love and enjoy food that I love instead, and that I hate not being able to make a sandwich or buy snacks after school. I basically went off for the whole session between a rant and answering questions the therapist put to me. My dad is so mad at me for doing it, and his wife was really upset because her kids heard it. But she was also upset because she accepted on some level I didn't want this ever. She's also kinda mad that I took up a whole session with my rant. AITA? Relevant comments. Commenter, entitled parents. Kiddo, you're here, asking if you were wrong to use the therapy you were shoved into. No, sweetheart, you're not wrong for that, nor for any of your feelings around your stepfamily. It was not your choice for them to join your family, and had your father not pushed this, you likely would not have been as against this. It's not your fault you weren't considered in this life-changing choice. I do not believe you can tell your dad not to date, marry, or whatever. But your dad, likewise, cannot demand that you be okay with choices made without you. NTA. And your dad needs to back off unless he wants to lose you and your sister. OP. Yeah, exactly. Like I can't tell him not to marry, and I can't ask him to stay single just because mom died. I always got that. But he just assumed he could say we were a family, and suddenly we'd love these people and want them and see them like he did. Commenter. NTA at all. You and your sister are the unhappy ones, so it's only natural that the focus will, at least initially, be disproportionately on the feelings of the two of you. Did your dad's wife expect the therapist would spend hours listening to her gushing about how happy she is that she's getting her way so much? OP. She thought we'd bring up things that are, in her words, workable or fixable. That's what she told Dad when I heard them talk about it. But she realizes it's deeper because it's not like we, me and my sister, wanted to be a blended family, and she realizes I don't love her and her kids, which for her isn't a workable problem. I'm not even sure what she means exactly. I guess something that's easy to fix. Story 2. Her mask slipped, and now my sisters know. I'm kind of stunned, honestly. I genuinely never thought this would happen. Both sisters are in their early 40s, and I'm the youngest of all 3. I won't get into the details, but I'm relatively LC with my mom, and I live thousands of miles away from her. Since the birth of my daughter has been out 3 times in the last year, this is far more from the average of once every other year over the past decade or so. While I could handle her abuse being directed at me or even my husband, I couldn't handle it involving my daughter. She never did anything physical, but over the past year, she's tried to convince me that my husband didn't want to be around my daughter, and that my daughter was developmentally behind, has tried to turn me against my in-laws, and has created more drama over my daughter than I bargained for. Typically, I keep her shenanigans between myself and my husband, and wouldn't typically talk to my sisters about it. Over the past couple years, I've been sharing stories with one of my sisters, and she's validated those stories by sharing her own stories in turn. After Mom's last visit, I decided fuck it, I'm telling them everything. I've always kept stories from my oldest sister because I wasn't sure how she'd react, and I didn't want to lose her over something like this. So I did. I told them every detail of her visit and started sharing stories from when I was younger. Fast forward a couple weeks and my N-mom is telling me my oldest sister dumped N-mom on middle sister. N-mom needed someone to drive her to and from the doctor for a procedure, and oldest sister had to work and asked middle sister to do it. Frankly, I'm over the way she talks about each of us, so I called older sister and told her what N-mom said. She asked if she could confront N-mom and I said yes, fully bracing for the backlash of either anger or silent treatment from N-mom and or potentially completely losing my family because I'm a liar and a narcissist and spreading rumors about my poor mother, Darvo. Long story short, N-mom was caught out in the lie. She didn't admit to it, but what she said didn't add up to my sister. My oldest sister then started asking me questions about things I had supposedly said. Oldest sister then got lunch with middle sister to talk about her experiences. As of our conversation last night, oldest sister was saying, I think mom may be a narcissist, and I was thinking, holy shit, this is happening. Both sisters agreed I had noticed this long before either of them, and confirmed I've likely been suffering from it much longer than either of them. I unloaded some of my stories to my oldest sister. I even told her that I didn't feel comfortable telling her about this stuff sooner because I wasn't sure how it would go. She agreed, saying, yeah, it would have been hard since she hadn't seen it earlier. She feels guilty for not having seen it till now. I told her it just wasn't possible, and likely her research on our dad led to her seeing it in our mom. The one had to happen before the other. She asked me how I got to the point I was in, and I told her about the long journey getting away from mom and eventually finding my way into therapy because I just felt like something was inherently wrong with me. Before we signed off, she told me she loved me, and there's nothing wrong with me. I've never felt so seen before. I've never felt so relieved before. My biggest fear in all this was losing my family, that eventually my N-mom would successfully turn my sisters against me. It feels so good to have people backing you, to know that I can just be and won't lose those relationships. I seriously can't believe it. It's not over yet, though. There's still a lot of things we have to deal with as a family, and a lot of undoing to be done. What's great is we can actually do them together. Anyway, wanted to share. I'm really grateful for all the information out there now about narcissism and toxic families. I hope those videos and links and articles find their way to your family members too. Relevant comments. Commenter, I'm really glad for you. My situation is almost identical except I'm the oldest of the three sisters, and I too was the last to see it. I left home at 19 and only saw her once a year till I retired, and I never had any kids so she didn't pay much attention to me. I was the invisible child who never got any financial help, whom no one ever saw. Anyway, I finally realized my middle sister was the scapegoat. My youngest was the golden child, although that clearly comes with its own set of stressors. And we've also been talking amongst ourselves. When I told my middle sister I knew she was the SG, and she'd had it worse than any of us. She got tears in her eyes. She's tough, and she doesn't show emotion much, but I could tell she was glad to finally have someone see it. Commenter, I'm really pulling for your sibs to actually step out of the fog. I only wish my N's bio kids were that insightful. One of the bio kids' ex is a diagnosed narcissist, but she still refuses to face reality about her spawn points. She's a flipping lawyer for mercy's sake. Another of the bio kids was the one to relay the message to the N's that I was not moving with them, nor would I be losing the rest of my cats to their schemes. After this, the bio kid admitted that they saw the denial and lack of accountability, etc., in the way the N's acted. The same one once admitted that growing up was similar to being in a cult, yet are they any closer to getting out of the N's toxic fog? Not that I've seen, to the point that I rarely even speak with them anymore, along with the rest. Story 3, AITA, for telling my family that it's not my job to help my half-siblings or any of them. I'm 17 meters. Not sure how old I was when my mom met her husband. Maybe like 1 or something. 3 at most. But he's in all my early memories. He was always eager to tell me I wasn't his kid too. And mom was quick to tell me to shut up if I got sad he wasn't including me, because she said she didn't want her biggest mistake, me, costing her the most important person in her life, him. My mom's parents are the only actual extended bio family I know, and they hate me. Not sure why. I always felt it. Guess it's my fault I was born. Her husband's family never include me. Leave me out of all things family related. I don't get gifts for Christmas or birthdays. I'm not called a grandson, nephew, or cousin. They never show up for my birthdays or anything, or invite me to the birthday parties. If my parents are invited, then I'm there, but I'm not allowed to play with the other kids. My half-siblings are allowed to even with the much older kids. I have 4 half-siblings, ages 12, 10, 8, and 5. They are treated so differently to me, and they treat me like shit just like the rest of the family. I tried really hard to be close to them for years. I hoped someone would love me back, but they repeat the stuff they hear their dad or someone else in their family say about me not being family. They said just because my dad didn't want me doesn't mean they need to, something both my mom and their dad have said. They even say mom wishes she didn't have me. Even when they were starting to say that stuff, I'd help with them, or help them directly, because I just wanted someone, but they were always saying I wasn't their real brother. They have dropped me off at friends' houses, classes and left me way later than I was supposed to be there, which caused issues with friends' parents who'd ring my mom or her husband, and I'd hear fights about being stuck with me. A few times mom tried to get people to take me overnight or for the whole weekend. Then I was a burden to these other families. It sucked. I always had so much anxiety around going to a party or something for that reason. And when I was younger, a lot of parents stopped letting their kids invite me to parties because I was the kid nobody ever came back for. It's been maybe 5 months of me just focusing on me, working, saving, looking at ways for me to move out once I'm 18, and not helping them, and now I'm getting shit for that. We were at my mom's IL's house, and they were complaining that I didn't offer to plate food for the 5-year-old, or offer to walk the 10-year-old to the store for stuff she wanted, or how I don't help around the house with them anymore. I told them it's not my job to help my half-siblings or any of them. I told them to figure it out for themselves. They were all pretty outraged and accused me of being a disrespectful shit. AITA? Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA. Ask them when they ever respected you even a little bit. They fucked around and are now finding out. Good luck, OP. Move out when you turn 18. Go NC and don't look back. OP, thanks. I'm still trying to work out specifics, but at least I know I'll have some money saved by the time I turn 18. Might not be the biggest help, but I'll be able to afford something. Commenter, get all your paperwork together and put it in a safe place. Bank deposit box. Read books on adulting to prepare to leave. Make sure no one has access to your money but you. Look at your birth certificate and Google paternal family. Maybe do an ancestry test. Get your plans in place for when you turn 18. College or trade school. Apply grants and scholarships. Work. Join a company that will help pay for your education towards higher levels. Home. Consider renting a room from a friend's family or roommate situation with friends. Move out and NC with your maternal side. This is your time to begin creating your found family. OP. There's no father on my birth certificate, just my mom's name. I don't even know the name of my father. Not sure if my mom really knows who he is. They hate him for leaving me with her, but maybe it's just rando who doesn't know. I need to save right now, and buying an ancestry kit wouldn't be the best move. Plus, I could see someone intercepting it and destroying it just to make life more miserable for me. Still working on the plan for once I leave, but I'll have money saved at least. Commenter, NTA, and good luck for your future. Keep saving and keeping that money away from them. Don't even let them know you have savings. Do you have a game plan for the next year, 5 years? If you can get into a trade, you can learn while being paid. I'm sorry your family has treated you this way. You don't deserve it, and you definitely don't owe them anything. If you're comfortable doing it, ask them why you have to do anything for your half-siblings who don't even recognize you as a brother, or help in a house where you feel unwanted. Adults should never treat their kids like this. OP, I don't have a solid plan yet. I'm not sure what the most realistic will be for me, but I'm working on figuring that stuff out. I have a job right now. I am looking at trade school, the military, Job Corps, and even apprenticeships. I also look to see if it would be more realistic to jump around job to job and find a new place where I might get it easier. So far, I at least have some money if I end up with few options. I wouldn't be comfortable asking them, though a part of me would love to demand answers, but I know I won't get them. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest one. Have a great day.